Hi everyone. In this video, I'll show you how to assemble my self-closing treat boxes. If you check the description right under this video, you'll find a link to my Design Space profile and my Facebook groups. I hope you'll follow me and join my groups. This is the project in Design Space. You can see that it's quite simple. I wanted to show you that these cuts for the embellishments, for the top layers, I've attached them. The reason why I did this is if you're using a pattern cardstock, you want to keep the shape so that you're not distorting the pattern. I'll show you that on mine. You'll get a better idea of what I mean. So I've added these little tags that I'm using. Of course, it's optional. I've done print and cut for the top layer. These tags are completely optional. You can embellish your project any way you like to. So it's quite simple. I've already cut it out and I'm ready to assemble. I'll switch to my overhead camera so you can see how it's done. And we're back and ready to assemble. I wanted to show you the finished box that I did as my trial cut. I think it's really cute. This isn't an original idea. Honestly, I've seen it online so many times, and I thought it was really adorable and would be great for Valentine treats. So I decided to make a Design Space file for it to make it easier for you all. So this finished box is about 4.5 inches high, 4 inches at the widest, and it's 2 by 2 across the bottom. That's approximate. It might be 3 7/8, but we say 2 by 2. So to open it, all you need to do is press the sides gently. Of course, you don't want to mangle the box. And it's kind of like those old-fashioned coin purses you see with the snap metal in the top. So you can open it easily and close it back up. I think it's terrific, especially for gifting. Really great. I did a print and cut layered tag on this one and a little red bow. And this is gold foil cardstock. I think it's pretty. So I'm going to be making a bunch of these to give as gifts. So for this one, I have my tag ready. And I tied my bow off camera because I'm really not good at tying bows. And I didn't want you to sit through 20 minutes of me trying to tie a little bow. So I mentioned when I showed you the Design Space file, I mentioned that I attached these top cuts. And the reason why I attach them is so that if you're using a larger pattern, flowers, hearts, whatever, and you don't cut in place, you'll distort your pattern. So as you can see, I cut through this little, I didn't attach it when I cut mine, and I cut through this heart, and it doesn't line up on this side. There's not a heart. It's not going to show because it's a tiny pattern. I don't think it'll be that noticeable. But if you're using a pattern cardstock, you definitely want to keep these cuts attached in the file when you cut them. And when you pull them off your mat, make sure you keep the right pieces together. So this is our base card. If you can see all the score lines. I'm sorry about the lighting. It's very gloomy outside today, cloudy. And natural light was not enough to film this. So I'm using my Cricut 360 lamp for better lighting, but there it is creating some shadow. So we can see we have a score line across the top. We have these pieces along the bottom that are cut, the side score line where we're going to attach, and a center score line. So we'll start by, I'm going to use this textured side of the cardstock. It's Cricut cardstock. One side is more textured than the other. This is going to be my outside, the more textured. So I'm going to fold this score line gently towards me. It doesn't have to be a very crisp fold, so just gently towards me. I'm going to fold these bottom pieces away towards the back. You can burnish them more, of course, but I'm doing this quickly for camera for your video. This side we're going to fold towards the back. Okay, so now we're all set to fold our triangles. So with the front facing up, I'm just going to fold down. And on the outside, you can see it stops at this score line. These inside ones, you want to stop again at that score line, so you don't want to fold right through the top. You can see that shape? I didn't fold right through the top. We have this straight score line. Again, this one. It's a little tedious to fold, but you can do it and stop before the top. And then this last one. There we go. And you can see how this looks. This is how we're going to assemble it together once we've added our top layers. And it's going to naturally take this shape. So it is a lot more, it looks a lot more complicated than it actually is. So let's add our top layers. I'm just going to take this little mat so I don't get adhesive all over my table because I'm very messy with liquid adhesive. My two-way tape. I'm using Tombow. And we'll get the large triangle first. Just add some adhesive all around the edge. Maybe a little in the center. And we're just going to line it up a little bit away from the top score line and try to get it centered. And we'll do the same with the outsides. And you want to have a little bit of the base detail showing in between. That one. See where I cut off the heart? But it's not really noticeable because the pattern is so tiny. It's just that if you're using a larger pattern, a larger print, it will show if you've cut halfway through a flower and you don't have the matching side, or it will show more. Of course, it's not the end of the world, but it will be more visible with a larger pattern. I'm trying not to get glue all over me while I'm attaching these. That's one side. Very easy to do. See how cute that is? Isn't that adorable? Okay, and we'll do the second side. The center triangle. This Tombow adhesive really adheres well. It's really terrific. I like it. There's also a water-based version that I'm not crazy about. I find that if you're not using very thick cardstock, the water-based version does tend to distort the paper. There we go. This is also a Cricut cardstock. I think it's deluxe foiled cardstock, something like that. It's called something like that. It's also Cricut. And I always cut these as 100 pound. It passes twice that way, and you get really nice clean cuts. Make sure we get this nice and straight. And one more. Super easy to do. It does really look more complicated than it is. And this one. There we go. So our top layers are on. I'll just move this away. Okay, so for this side, I'm going to lay it flat. I'm going to use some two-way tape on it. So we'll just put it right up to the edge and down to the bottom. Tear it off. I'll use my little pick to make it easier. There we go. Pull off that. And then we're just going to keep it flat and fold it right over to the edge and press it down. And there's our box. Now all we have to do is close up the bottom. So you can use two-way tape or adhesive, whichever you prefer. You just want to make sure that you haven't put excessive tape on it. So I'm just going to put some glue and I'm going to stay on the edge and over on this side. And we'll just push it down and line it up. Make sure it's lined up square on the bottom. And then we'll do the same on this side. Put on this side and this side. And again, we'll push it down and make sure it's lined up square, because that's what gives the shape. And you didn't want to get any extra adhesive in the center. And you can see the shape. Isn't that terrific? Just hold this flat for a little bit. And it opens perfectly and closes back up. Terrific. So then all you have to do is add your embellishments, whatever you want to decorate it with, or not. Completely up to you. I'm going to use this little tag. And a little bow. Just trying to put a little piece of tape on here. There we go. And take the cover off again. think I'll just add a little bit more glue. Just a little dot. And I'll add my bow. That's cute. That will be sweet. And maybe another little piece of tape. To the back. And add my little embellishment. Just open it up so I can press it on well. And there we go. Isn't that great? I don't know if you can see the foil. It's really cute. It's a little shiny. Very cute. So that's it. Not difficult at all to make. I hope you're going to make some. Please post pictures of them if you do. I'd love to see them. This project will be shared in my Design Space profile, so you can get it there. Also in my Facebook groups. I hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you for watching.